What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another comic character of the week. You notice there's a little change tonight. Sal is out. He's at the Marinara convention. Apparently they're having like some new meatball technology they wanted to check out. So he is there. He is there, in all of his gold chains and the shirt with the top 4 buttons unbuttoned. So he's in heaven right now. So filling in
wrong with that.
Filling in for him.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Friend of the station, been on before, frequent member of the chat. We got Snoop. We got Chris here, filling in.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, you know what? Go out with a bang, I always say. But before we get to Chris, though, I want to say it's so if Sal with the Italian meatball convention, he's going.
What's up, Richard?
Hey, Richard. You would think that Italy would have a war with Sweden over this meatball problem. You would think that they would have met.
No, Sal grew a hat.
Sal that is Chris. Yes, Richard. That is Chris. This is the day that Codex Station is officially taken off the air.
Here's what it was I sent in our group chat for the show when Sal told me he couldn't be on, and I was like, oh, you know what? Chris loves the JLA or the JSA. He'll be the first one to come on. I said, Sal said he's going to be out for Thursday's show. There's a Vespa and gold chain sale happening at Giuseppe's House of Garlic and Italian Heritage. Chris is going to fill in.
Wow.
And then Jamie said that he was concerned.
Well,
I don't know if he was concerned about, Sal possibly OGing or
bit of both.
Again. But then I put a little GIF in there that said, "No, sir, looks like a case of just too many gold chains." He OG'd. For anybody that knows that classic movie.
Oh, I have to do my.
Get you, sucker.
Yes,
I
have to do my text that I always do when the show starts.
He's right there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I still have to do it. I was going to see if he would even notice.
I love that movie so much. I have a copy of it. I'm so old. I have a copy of it on VHS.
Wow. Thanks, man.
So, if you have not guessed tonight, the character we are talking about is the one and only Courtney Whitmore, Stargirl.
Stargirl.
Yeah, this one was. Yeah, this one was my pick, and now we've done. I think this is 3 DC characters in a row.
Yeah,
we have, but the ledger is still tilted more.
Yep.
We've done more Marvel than DC characters still.
Yes. And the funny thing is, I didn't realize it. I should have said something to you guys last week, but last week's episode was our 125th comic character of the week episode.
We talked about that because Gary brought up maybe doing a team, but I was saying we should keep the teams to like every 50 episodes to make it a little more. Yeah. My opinion is to make it a little more special.
That means we're just doing one a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically, so yeah, we'll figure something out. But as for next week, I'm throwing this out there for everybody. We're going to try something a little bit different. We are going to take next week off. I already had a conversation with Sal about it. But you guys are still going to get a comic character of the week. You guys are going to get the marathon of the Trinity. So you're going to get Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman all in one episode from a collective of everything that we've done so far. So there'll still be an episode out. So go check it out.
Because, we've only done one Wonder Woman episode, right? But 2. I know we've done 2. Did we do 2 for one? That's right, we did 2 for Wonder Woman.
We did a revisit because we had the Hikatia.
Yeah, because Sal picked that. Because you weren't on for the original one. And then we did the Superman revisit. Have we done Batman twice?
We have not revisited Batman.
No.
I'm eager to get my hooks into that episode.
That's what I was going to go into. The following, I think we should do a revisit.
That'd be awesome.
Because we haven't done a revisit in a while.
Yeah, I would love to get on to the Batman one. I've got, I've got Batman stories, man. Detective 455 must read, buddy. Right, Chris?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, because I think
mine only goes from 500 up, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you know what, Gary? The next pick is yours.
Well, if it's a Batman revisit, then that's isn't that a different animal?
Yeah, that's a different animal. So then we would do a revisit, and then Gary can make a pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. But so next week, the greatest hits.
Yep.
And then the week after that,
Greatest
we'll do
what?
Batman, the greatest hits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought he said the same thing too. I was like,
You say if
like I'm
if
definitely
it was what
demonetized
you
him.
thought I would say, the short list would be Adrienne Barbeau, Samantha Fox,
Don't forget about mine.
Sydney Sweeney, Saggy and Harry. No,
The greatest hits, like that one time that Bart Scott just got a free run and just laid out Ben Roethlisberger.
that's a different kind of
It's a different
greatest
kind of hit. Yeah.
Or the one I love. I have to watch it a couple times whenever it pops up. It was an old game when the Ravens were playing the Bengals, and Chad Johnson ran up and said he tried to blindside tackle Ray Lewis, and he hit Ray Lewis and bounced off of him, and Ray Lewis ran past him to tackle the ball carrier, and then Chad Johnson's on the sideline. He's like, I tried to hit Ray. I don't know what happened.
I bounced off him.
Listen, the greatest hit ever by a Baltimore football player occurred on a Baltimore football player to a fan. This was
yes, I know what you're talking about.
I thought you were going to say Ray Rice.
That's so wrong. You're so wrong. You're going to hell for that, James.
What did he say?
You still about Ray Rice had the greatest hit. Oh, it's so wrong.
He's also the greatest kicker.
In the 70s, I want to say maybe 78 or so, Monday Night Football. This was when it was the Baltimore Colts. A fan ran onto the field, grabbed the ball. I think the official had put the ball down, grabbed the ball, was running around. A mean-ass linebacker for the Colts, Mike Curtis, clotheslined that sucker, separated him from the ball. Crowd went nuts. That was great.
Did you
He's
hear
still in the coma?
Yeah.
Did you hear what Mike Curtis said when they did that America's Game and they did the episode on that Colts team because they won the Super Bowl that year?
Okay, then it was really early. It was the 1971 team. Then okay.
Did you hear what Mike Curtis had to say about that? He said that some of his team because his teammates knew like this was not a guy to be trifled with.
No, you don't mess with him. No.
And they came up to him. He said after the game, and they're telling him like, dude, you like, man, you can't do that. You can't hit a fan like like that. That's not right. And he said, I was at work, and I paraphrase. I don't remember exactly, but basically he was saying is like, I was at work. He came into my place of business, and he was disrupting my ability to do my work. So I did what I had to do.
There you go.
It was something about watch the America's Game with the Colts that year and like the stone coldness on his face when he talks about it.
Oh. Clown picked up the ball and ran with it. Curtis is paid to destroy a ball carrier. That's exactly what he did.
Mike Curtis was a bad man.
He's a bad man. He's a bad man. So yeah, exactly.
I remember
that may be the greatest Baltimore football player making a hit ever.
And what they used to chant, for people who don't remember, Bubba Smith, before he was in Police Academy movies,
Kill Bubba Kill.
He was played for the Baltimore Colts, and that's what the crowd would chant: "Kill Bubba Kill."
Kill Bubba Kill. That's right.
You guys are your sports ball.
Is Pam here?
Pam, come on, Pam.
I don't think Pam's on yet.
You should have waited for Pam for sports.
She knows to wait 15 minutes.
Real quick, the guy that played center for the Colts that year, I forget who, but he'd also played for a couple of teams. He played for the Cowboys, some others. Him and his wife invited Bubba Smith over for dinner one night. Bubba Smith's a big dude, defensive end. So he goes over to the house, and they're having fried chicken, and they give it to him, and he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, we have a budget, everybody, we get one piece of chicken. And Bubba Smith is talking about, man, look at the size of me. I'm not eating one piece of chicken for dinner. He said after he left their house, he stopped at KFC and got a bucket of chicken to eat on his way home.
Do you have the personal size bucket, please? Yeah. Good stuff.
He's a big fella, man.
He was a big man.
Well, you know what? The Baltimore Colts wore blue and white. And who else wears blue and white? Our character tonight, Stargirl. The
Courtney Whitmore.
Courtney Whitmore, you got future of the JSA.
AKA Star-Spangled Kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Star-Spangled Kid, Stargirl, one day to be Star Woman. All right, were you guys ready to start this off?
Hey,
All right,
Chris,
I forgot. We should go through and give all the
introductions.
Yeah,
So-
I'll do my spiel when we get to me.
All right, so Chris, do you want to tell us where they can find you when you're not on the show next week?
Listen,
A
go
bathroom stall.
into the woods, find a rock. You lift that rock up, and you look underneath, and I'll be damned if a Sportslander doesn't squiggle out.
Yep. That's where I'll be sunning.
There he goes.
Oh, look, our viewership just dropped off. Nah.
No.
Yeah, I currently don't have any projects working. So
Chris,
you got 3D stuff.
I do some 3D printing, but it's
I got it
that's for me
upstairs.
and my friends. I'm not doing anything
Hang
professional.
on. I got you.
That last swamp thing he did for me was phenomenal. Look, there's
Yeah,
the
you,
doc.
you probably can't see the Captain America that I have over my shoulder.
Yep.
It's a little small there, but
We each
yeah,
have
it's fantastic.
a Chris Schwartzlander creation.
An original.
I'm still waiting for that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers helmet I sent you that I think you could do for me.
Dude, that thing is huge. My printer won't even do that thing. That is monstrous.
I guess you got to do it in pieces and then assemble it.
I think I need to step up on the computer on the printer from what I have.
Oosh.
Moose. Hey, there we go.
There he is.
There's the man.
All right, so basically, whenever he's not on with us, you could find him in the local CD bars or the county lockup.
Or the chat.
Yeah, or the
Bars.
chat. Whenever you could find him in the chat whenever he wakes up and is able to join us.
Yeah,
For
whenever
me-
I do tend to sleep a lot.
For me, you can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Been posting a lot of sketch covers recently that I finished up so I'd have stuff to post while I was finishing working up on my comic, which is so close to being able to be released.
Nice.
But
That's awesome.
this guy here. Well, you know what? Why don't you want to introduce him, Chris?
This guy over here?
You
Or
know,
over there?
you know,
Yeah, you introduce that guy.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What's up,
You
Mr.
never
Bobby?
do.
That's not what you said the last time I was there.
You just got lucky.
It's a dangerous, dangerous day.
What we have here is, well, a lot of people like to call him the Ric Flair of comics. I prefer to call him the Rowdy Roddy of comics because
He does.
He resembles more to me, that kilted Scotsman
And I am a Scotsman.
who just love busting people in the mouth. That is our friend Gary Lawhorn, or Uncle Gary, as the Great Unwashed call him.
The Great Unwashed. Well, I appreciate that from one of the Great Unwashed. That. But with all bullcrap aside, I want to say Chris Schwartzlander is a fine, fine gentleman. And I'll shoot. Give me a second. Hold on.
Didn't Ric Flair's wife hit him in the head with a frying pan or something?
He had it coming.
At
There
one
was-
point?
Chris
That was like the
Schwartzlander.
third or fourth.
Not only is he a fine gentleman, fine looking figure of a man. Let's keep my now. This is dead serious now. That man is a Army veteran, combat veteran. He deserves our respect every single goddamn day. So that's true. That being said, he is my friend, and I can't talk shit about him because I love him. But that is never to be talked shit about because that has to be respected. Dude is an author. Tripping Over Reality. Love this book by Christopher Lee Schwartzlander. He's a published author, not once, but twice.
That's Dusty.
Yeah, well, so are you. That's the secret to it. But there
And
we
you know
go.
where you can
That's what
find
I'm
those.
saying. It's old like me.
You know where you can find copies of those books.
Yeah, my house.
They are
You
at
can buy
Comic
your
Logic.
own.
They are at Comic Logic. There you go.
They are.
Look at that. We do have we even have signed copies at
You
Comic
do.
Logic. And Chris, I don't have it right now. He's also he is one of the co-creators of the Brown Lantern, and he has the Brown Lantern ring. He made Brown Lantern rings for us. So this man is creative beyond belief. It is an honor to have him on the show. He is one of my best friends in life. He is a JSA scholar, not just
Love
an
him.
aficionado. He is a scholar. of all
Absolutely love
things
him.
Justice League of America. And probably the greatest thing about Chris is what he's going to do with those All-Star comics when he goes to the Great Beyond. He's going to give them. He's going to. Yeah, he's good. That's right. He's going to give them to somebody really special, me. So when we go to a convention and he buys a new All-Star, I'm like, Chris, you're buying me another All-Star. I just love that.
He's always talking me into putting extra salt on my fries and stuff.
Chris, come on, have a little more. Have a little more of that.
Come on.
But counterintuitively, Chris says because of that, he is going to be so honorary. He's going to make sure he outlives me. So I'm defeating my own purpose. I keep thinking I'm getting those All-Stars. They're not going to happen because he's going to outlive me. And I
that episode of SNL when they put Belushi in the old man makeup and they had like the real sentimental thing and it was filmed in black and white and then it shows him dancing on the graves of all the other cast members. We're all going to be in the grave and Chris is going to be dancing like, ha, outlived you, son.
Listen. He's going to be ready for the grave, but the Grim Reaper is going to go, oh, hell no, I'm not messing with that. Right?
He's going to come for me, but he better pack a lunch.
Yeah, there you go. He better pack a lunch. That's goddamn right. Yeah, Chris, the Grim Reaper is going to say, nope, next, please. He's going to go to the next. But that's my brother. Love that dude. Thanks, man. There, Chris Schwarzenegger. So
Chris is going to challenge him to a game of Battleship like in Bill and Ted.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That being said, if you want to run into this sucker, sometimes you can catch him at Comic Logic as well.
This is true.
Loudoun County, Virginia's premier comic book store. We are having our fall lot con on Sunday, October 26th of this very month. October 26th, Sunday, the Sunday before Halloween, we'll have our fall lot con. We will have local authors, local artists. We will have toy vendors. We will have tattoos. If you want to get a tattoo, there'll be a tattoo. Did you get one there last time, Chris?
I did.
Yeah, Chris got a tattoo there.
I got this Marvel one.
That's right. You absolutely did.
I just had this one updated.
Yes, he did.
The Wolverine one. Yeah, you sent me a picture of that the other day. It looks.
Yeah, I had that. I've had that for 20 years.
He went to Earl Scheib and they redid it. It was awesome.
So,
$9.95. 95. So they did that, but. Come to Comic Logic. Come see us. You catch me, Mighty Mike Harbor, Rob Kalin. We are, slinging the books. But come see us there. And if you can't see us on that day, come by on Wednesday when we're getting that 4-color ink right here, baby. We're getting that 4-color ink right here into the blood veins. I've told you once. I've told you 1,000 times. Reading comic books make you strong. You start out with one book, then you're a stack. Then it's a short box, then a long box. Then you're stacking them all the way up here. You're stacking them all the way up here. Next thing you know, you are jacked and you are packed. When you've got racked like that. Yeah, baby. So come, get you some comics, make yourself strong enough. Yeah, do a few push-ups too. Those help.
Got my tickets to the gun show.
To the gun show. So
Jamie's been working out, man.
Jamie's been working out hard,
man.
Jamie hits stronger regularly.
Jamie lifts Wisconsin every 3 days a week.
Yeah, I'm trying to push it off the fucking map.
There you go.
I'm allergic to working out. I break out in a sweat and I breathe heavy. It's horrible.
Well,
the only weights he's lifting are donuts to his mouth.
Curls, right, Chris? Curls,
12-ounce curls, baby.
Yep. So anyway, come check us out there. Also, let's give some love to the comic character, the day site founded by the lovable Archduke Kevy, who you will probably see on one of those flashback or those throwback episodes next week. I believe Archduke is on one of those, right, Jamie?
Yes, he's on 2, if I'm not.
2, okay. You see the Archduke?
He's on 3 of them: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
I threw a revisit in there, so Uncle Gary's on one of them.
Oh, I thought you were doing it as like a clip show of little bits from each one.
No, it's the full marathon of the episodes.
Oh, okay, nice. That being said, Archduke, you'll see him, but he founded it. But right now, that fella right there, Dan Kelly, he's running. He's giving you character of the day. He's got a supernatural theme this month, which makes perfect sense because we're in spooky season. And he gives you a great random panel of the day and a great question of the day. And that is the site that we all met on. So, for good or for ill, that's the reason that the Codex folks met. So
it's all good stuff there too, man.
It is a good site. Yep.
It's it's a theme month. So since it's spooky season, I decided to go with the Midnight Suns because they're the only supernatural comic team I could find that had enough members that I could post one each day. There's 31 days in October, and 5 of those will be ones where we post the character of the day for Thursday. So I was like, I got to find a team that's got 26 members I can post. And that was the only one I could find that had enough members.
I didn't have any idea they had that many members.
I didn't either.
Well, I didn't post because I looked at it, I was like, I'm not posting Wolverine if I can help it, because he doesn't need to be in every team.
Well, I had no idea they had.
Well, apparently he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does.
But yeah, like Legion of Monsters and like all these other different teams. I was Creature Commanders. I was looking at, like, none of them have enough.
That Legion of Monsters cover is the only cover Nick Cardy ever did for Marvel, which is just a little factoid.
It's a great cover too.
Yeah, enough. But let me, enough about us, and let's kick it up to the guy, the Mr. Wisconsin right there, the master builder, J-Dub, had a vision. He had a vision years ago. He thought, what can I do to enrich the comic community and leave a lasting impact on that community? What can I do? And then it hit him. It hit him hard. He says, I can impart comic knowledge on the great masses from sea to shining sea, across the globe, north, south pole, all on this big blue planet of ours. All this knowledge bouncing around in the ether, because that man right there, he had a vision, and he knew what he had to offer was good. And he saw that it was good, but he had to build it. He had to build it one brick at a time. Slowly, it emerged from the primordial earth, this great edifice of comic knowledge built by the master builder, our high evolutionary, our man with the plan, J-Dub.
Thank you for that one. I love it. You guys say Roddy, you guys say Ric Flair. I say Ultimate Warrior. But guys, thank you again. You guys know what I'm about to say. Go check out the CodexStation.com, one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet team. Let us know what you like and don't like, and you can find us on the
Oh, listen, if you ever doubted that we had all the socials, if you ever doubted it, one look at that fella, you know damn well that we are full-on infected with all the socials. And
I'm itchy.
Yeah, he's itchy. And the one thing we want to do is we want to give that itch to you. Hit that button, catch what we got, and become one of us, one of us, one of us.
One of us.
Oh, and also, real quick, just to let everybody know, I have gotten messages about it. I have heard you guys, and yes, I figured it out. We are back on Spotify. All weekend long, I'm going to be uploading every piece of content we have up there again. It's been a little bit. We had some troubles with it, but we are back. So you guys can listen to us on the go.
All What's right. Spotify? Is that those bugs we're supposed to crush?
Mm-hmm.
With Spotify? Spotify's. That's what we call them. That's shorthand.
And you can help us out, too, by expanding our reach even more, because right now the CBC Awards are going on, and we are nominated for 5 different categories. So I'll throw those up real quick. You can check it out at the cbcawards.com there, or .org, and just go give us a vote. You're on there for best live stream, for best informative content, for another best live stream, for best entertaining content, and then Sal is nominated himself for most engaging host. So hopefully Chris will not get us banned from the awards tonight. But if you go on there and vote for us and all the other well-deserving creators, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, we would.
So if you guys are ready, let's kick the tires, light the fires, and let's go ahead and jump into this.
Let's do it.
Oh,
that's not
good. Here's the right one. All right, we are back. It is the Codex Station Comic Character of the Week this week on DC's own Stargirl with special guest Chris. Can't believe they released him from County Lockup, Schwartzlander.
He kept clogging the bathroom. They were like, "We need to get you out of here."
It's only for
Our
Thursday.
pipes aren't designed to handle this.
Yes.
All right, so Stargirl originally appeared for the first time. She had a couple, little cameos and teases, but the first full appearance was in Stars and Stripe #0 from July 1999, created by writer Jeff Johns and artist Lee Moder. And Johns created this character based on his sister, who had tragically died very young as a teenager in an airplane crash. So, yep.
There's a
and created the character to honor her. So her story is that her real name is Courtney Whitmore. She was the stepdaughter of Pat Duggan, who was the Golden Age hero sidekick Stripesy, the sidekick to the Star-Spangled Kid. The only time there was an adult that was a sidekick to a teenager. And Courtney, when they moved into a new house in Blue Valley, she found a box of Pat's old things and found all of this stuff from his time as that, and and she hated having Pat as a stepfather, hated moving to Blue Valley. So to mess with him, other than the fact that she would make fun of him for being an adult sidekick to a teenager, she took the cosmic converter belt from the original Star-Spangled Kid's costume, and she edited the costume to be her own suit for a school dance. Some villains show up. She doesn't know what the converter belt is, but she ends up fighting them. Pat had built himself this massive armor, the stripe armor, and they ended up teaming up, and she took off as the Star-Spangled Kid, mostly just to annoy Pat, not because she had any feelings of being a superhero. As far as her powers, with the cosmic converter belt and the cosmic staff, she has enhanced strength, speed, stamina, agility from the belt, which also allows her to shoot out stars, though they don't really do anything with that anymore. Then the cosmic staff allows her to fly and manipulate cosmic energy. So let's go ahead and jump into what we like best about this character. And Chris, since you are the guest, why don't you start us off?
I love her eternal optimism. Let me start by saying I'm just really touched about how Johns came about creating the character. I mean, her entire personality is designed after his sister, who tragically died in that horrible accident on TWA 800.
Yep.
And I think she probably does live through this character, and I love how she's just always optimistic and tough. And a lot of the other legacy characters in the JSA look up to her, even though she's the youngest. Is Jakeem younger than her?
I think he's younger. Yeah.
Yeah, but even some of the older legacy guys, they look up to her. Yeah, and that's impressive. She's able to garner the respect of even the older society members, but the younger people they flock to her, which explains a lot of the situations she gets into and adventures she gets into, because she is definitely going to be a leader.
Yeah.
When she's Star Woman.
Yeah.
When she does it eventually become.
Yeah, I'll go next. I agree with you. I like the way that she is growing into a leader, because when you read, her original series, I mean, let's be honest, she was a brat in it. She wasn't a terribly likable character. The series was good, but her as a character, she's kind of bratty. She's, it's funny that she's just doing this whole thing, not because she cares about helping people, but because she does it to antagonize her stepfather, who she doesn't like. She doesn't like living in this new town, but she's grown as a character over the years and grown into this leadership role. Like you said, that all these other legacy characters, that started after her, even though they're older than her, like Citizen Steel, who was, he was an adult, and all of them look up, you will follow her lead, even though she's much younger. And, it's great seeing her grow from, how she started to how she is now, and then where we've seen a couple glimpses of who she will be or could be in the future. It's exciting to see, like, to watch her get to that point.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Jamie?
When we talk about characters, there's always that passing of the torch of a character. You talk about, like, you're looking at the Robins to Batman, you're looking at the Kid or Jonathan Kent to Superman, the list goes on, but her having that passing of the torch ability, being that mainstay, is what I like best about her. She really revolutionized that as, what it means to be the next in line, rather than just following in a footstep of the previous successor.
Yeah. What about you, Gary?
All right. Well, first, just let me say that I love the inception of this character, and I think it comes from the heart because Jeff Johns lost his kid sister in United 800, blew up right as it left New York on its way to Italy, I believe, and it blew up. He lost his sister. At first, they worried that maybe it was some kind of terrorism, but then it just looked like there was a problem in the fuel tank, and it hit a short circuit, and it just exploded. So I think there were 230 or 250 passengers that all lost their lives. So I just think this is a wonderful legacy for Johns to turn his pain into something that is just what a great lasting character that he's created for his sister, and I think that is just the greatest, that's got to be a gift for him. And to think about Johns watching her in print and seeing her on a TV show, that he got to be, of course, an executive producer of, I just think that's great. And to Dan's point about her being a brat at first, this is his kid sister. I'm sure she was a little brat to him.
Yeah.
On occasions, right? But damn well that the idea was not for her to stay a brat. That the idea in Johns' head was she was going to evolve and become this wonderful character that she became. So, but and that she was going to end up loving Pat Dugan and realize that he was the father in her life she never had. So so this was all part of the plan. It was, so yes, she was precocious, but he wasn't going to leave her there, and he certainly didn't. So I love that. I love her spunk and her pluckiness and her never say die attitude, and the fact that she is an inspiration, not just to her generation, but to these older JSA heroes. They look at her and she inspires them, and that is, that might be in another segment. That statement right there was going to be in another segment we have later, because that is as cool as it gets. And I just love this character. And Chris and I, and on the show, we have had this conversation. I'm more of a DC guy. When it comes to collectors, I think DC collectors are much more nostalgic and sentimental than Marvel collectors are. And just listening to a lot of Marvel collectors have bought and sold their collections many times over, right? Mm-hmm. They'll buy it, they'll sell it, they'll buy it. DC collectors, there's something about us where we don't sell our collections as much. It's not an absolute, but this is just something I've noticed in all the years I've collected, that the DC collectors are a little more sentimental, and tied in emotionally. And I think that's what I love about this character. She is a legacy character, and she's tied into two different JSA members. She's tied into the Star-Spangled Kid and that legacy, and Sylvester Pemberton, and she's tied into Ted Knight's Starman with the rod that was passed on to his son Jack Knight, who who retooled it from the handheld rod into the staff, and passed it on to Courtney, knowing that she would be a worthy successor to his father's legacy. So she has two great lineages that she is representing. And she is definitely the best of this younger generation. And she will be a leader because she is already looked up to by the old heads and the young heads. So I just think she is a fantastic character. And I can't say enough of how much I love what she's added to the JSA.
And she goes on to inspire people in the future, too.
Yes, she will. Absolutely.
Her baby sister.
Like her baby sister.
takes over.
That is such a great story. Yes, that is such a great story, and I know we'll talk about that later too. Yeah.
So yeah, like what you said too. I'll just echo that again. Is it's such a great character. There's not many characters out there that are like this that are a tribute to a real person that was lost too young, and the fact that John's created her for that, and has been the primary guy to write her over the years, but that he has allowed her to grow. And none of us know what his sister was like, if she was like how Courtney was when she was introduced, if she was always like that or if she grew. But it's great that that this character will live on through into the future as a tribute to his sister, and that she's growing into be such a person.
His emotional connection to the character absolutely allows her to ring true. She feels real. And having raised a teen daughter, they do get like that. That is what it is like raising a teen daughter. There's love there, but there's a lot of, they're always embarrassed by us. They're just, they don't need us around.
Hell, I'm embarrassed by myself, so
I am too, quite frankly.
So next up, we got top 3 moments. I'm going to go ahead and go with that real quick. Mine aren't really the normally when we do badass moments or best moments, it's like when they want to fight or something like that. Mine are a little different this time. So the first one I have is from Starman 80, when Jack Knight retires from being Starman and he passes the cosmic rod on to her, the staff. And at first when he met her, when she started, he absolutely did not like her. So it showed the growth of the character, that he was willing to pass on the lineage of him and his brother and his father to her, to keep it going. Shows how much she grew as a character, and how much like you said, the old heads came to respect her. JSA All Stars number 4, which I got right there.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Pat are going to stop this crime, to fight the Royal Flush Gang. And then when they're doing it, they find out that she finds that her father, who, pretty much abandoned her and her mother when she was a baby, and she always longed to have this relationship with him. And he was just a deadbeat criminal, never around. He's now working as an underling for the Royal Flush Gang. And at one point, like, even pulls a gun on her in that. And when he's going and they're trying to escape, she stops him. And he is trying to get her to just let him go, and she won't. I said, put him in jail. And they're coming for you, Chris.
I know, they've been coming for him since he started the episode.
Chris, we're sorry we put you on air and we gave away your location.
When there's an emergency in the area, there's a siren nearby that goes off. It drives me insane.
But
it's the same siren that they used to play in Desert Storm when we had incoming from Scud missiles.
That doesn't help your state of mind, does it?
It's comforting.
Yeah, I bet.
And so it it shows her it shows her maturity and growth as a character. You could see how much it hurts her and the sadness of it to know this is who her father is, but she has to do what she has to do. And then the last one I have is from JSA All Stars 1, a different series that was called JSA All Stars. So this is one after the JSA team broke into 2 because they had ideological differences, and mostly the older heroes stayed in the main JSA, and a lot of the younger ones left with Power Girl and Magog to start this new team.
Yeah, Magog didn't last long.
Yeah, and she. In the first episode, they're all kind of sitting around trying to come up with a team name, and Power Girl sees Courtney's not there, and she goes outside. She's sitting on the roof, and she sees that she's upset, and she's having second thoughts about it, and she is telling Power Girl that she doesn't feel that she feels more comfortable with the old team, and Courtney tells her, like, I get what you guys are trying to do. And Power Girl says, but you feel better with the other team? And she says, yeah. And then Power Girl says, Court, the reason I twisted your arm is because I really, really need you. There's no way this would work without you. She goes, what? And she goes, the kids look up to you. They'll follow your lead. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest person on the team. And Power Girl says, so what? It doesn't matter how old you are. It just matters who you are. So I thought that was pretty badass, is that even though she's the younger one on there, all these other characters like Cyclone, Citizen Steel, Damage has been doing the hero thing longer than her, but all of them look up to her and were willing to leave the JSA and start this new team just to follow her.
Well, the fact that Power Girl realized that.
And Power Girl, yeah, too.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my 3. What about you, Gary? What do you got?
I want to go with Chris. I don't want to take any of Chris's thunder on these, so let's let Chris go. No, Chris, you go. And I want you to elaborate on what Dan said about her father. You had a very salient point in there. One reason why she was even more disappointed in her father.
One of my moments was related to what you're saying, and it wasn't just that, her dad was an ass and was not a good father at all, and she made mention that not only was that he was with the Royal Flush Gang, but she expressed her disappointment that he was only a 2. He was only a 2 of clubs. He couldn't be a 10. He couldn't be a Jack or even a 10. He had to be a 2. He was a low ranking member at that. So
wasn't our line like she kind of mutters to herself like, it's like, you're not even a 5.
Yeah,
you're not even a 5 or a Jack.
Damn 2. He didn't have a uniform. He didn't have a uniform. He was such a loser. Yeah.
And my second one is in Star and Stripe Zero, just because she kicks the icicle in the crotch. I just thought that was a badass moment. I mean, it's technically her first appearance, and it kind of it shows you that she got some training from Wildcat. Absolutely, she didn't hesitate to kick him in the crotch. And
because it is her first appearance, but canonically it takes place between issue 8 and 9, which would be after she joined the JSA.
To paraphrase the great movie quote, icicles got shards.
Now, I'm sure she shattered them.
Yeah.
That's funny you bring that up. I used to be in a band whose band name was Wolfman's Got Nards.
There you
go.
That's
awesome. Well, and we've talked about that, Dan. That's our favorite movie, man.
Yeah,
great.
Love that movie.
It's such a
terrible
awesome
movie. And my third one takes place during the JSA arc, which is part of the what is it?
Sins of
Dark
Youth,
Reign or Dark Victory?
Yeah,
Black Victory,
Black Vengeance.
Black Vengeance. It's part of the Black Vengeance graphic novel story arc. It's 2 story arcs in the one novel. But at the beginning of it, her family is brutally murdered in front of her, just shot down. And Rip Hunter shows up. He's gathering, and she was murdered by Degaton and his Red Morgue thugs, because Rip Hunter was putting back together the JSA team to take out, to stop Degaton from doing what he's doing. He was gathering the team back together so that he could take them and stop what he was doing back in 1951, which was to prevent the JSA from coming out of retirement. And her whole demeanor throughout that arc was just so impressive. And it wasn't until maybe the 4th issue of the arc where she even took time to breathe and think about her family being killed right in front of her. But she still carried on. And that just really takes some balls.
Absolutely.
It really does.
I 100% agree. That is such a great story arc. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
an incredible arc. And the one right after
Yeah.
that's fantastic too, because it deals with all that Al Rothstein stuff that took place
yeah.
when he was hanging
And
out
all
with
the
Black
arcs
Adam.
before that, they were really good too.
Jeff Johns writing JSA.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
Just-
thing of beauty.
That was peak JSA.
It was.
All right,
Just
all right,
good
Gary.
stuff.
So, what are your 3 moments then?
All right, so my 3 are so let's see, what have I got? We talked about the father in jail. Just I'll do the generalization later. In the Stargirl, the Lost Children 6, the new Time Master, which happened to be Courtney Baxter, who was one of the Rip Hunter's crew, goes way back in DC history. But he was as a kid then. His future self comes back, and he's willing to take in the Lost Children. There are all these time displaced kid sidekicks. Some of them had been seen before, others we had never seen, in our comic history. But he's saying we cannot bring them into the continuity, into the future. The only Stargirl could go back and show could Red Arrow, because they were actually from the correct timeline. Stargirl wasn't having it and said no one gets left behind. And she's using that cosmic rod, and everybody's linking hands behind her, and everybody's grabbing somebody else. And she's like, nobody, she says, she refuses to leave any of the kids behind. All of them were going to go. And then at one point, Wing, who was one of the 7 soldiers of victory, was holding on to the staff, and she didn't want to let him go, but Wing understood that he was going to save the world by defeating the Nebula Man from that great JLA JSA crossover 100 to 102, and Wing knew he had to go, and that was his destiny, to save him.
What a fantastic
that whole series was called back again, written by Johns, and I just love it. And one of Dan's favorite, Todd Knock, did the art on that, and it was wonderful, and it was a wonderful throwback. And it's interesting to me to see some of the sidekicks we had seen before, but they're introducing all these others that had never been seen before, acting like they were there before. So I thought that was quite interesting. But it was just wonderful. She wasn't going to leave anybody behind. None of those kids were getting left behind, and I love that. Yep, there you go. I love that about her.
Yeah, such a good series. Such a good
In
series.
the aforementioned Black Vengeance, after her family's been killed, she has been, she's back in time, and she's trying to get Ted Knight, the original Starman, into the fray, because he is a pivotal figure, and he's in an insane asylum. He has got terrible guilt that has destabilized him because he helped work on the atomic bomb, and that has really messed him up. And she breaks him out after she herself gets they institutionalize her, and she has help, but she gets out, and she goes to him, and Ted Knight's got his hand over his face, and he goes, "Take me home." He goes, "Open your eyes, Mr. Knight." He's, "Take me back, kid." She says, "Open your eyes, Mr. Knight. Take me back home." She goes, "Home, but you are home." And she takes him up into the sky. She flies him into the sky, into the night sky, Starman, and says, "You are home. It's beautiful. You aren't crazy. Why am I seeing you? Because your life continues past today. Your accomplishments, your sacrifices, you'll be an inspiration for generations to come like me." And so it's just, it's just wonderful that he says, "Take me home." She goes, "I have. You are home. You're in the sky where you belong." That's a small thing. It's, it's not how we, Sonny, you're right. It's not how we sometimes want to generalize badass, but for me, it's a badass, beautiful human moment from a beautiful character. And I love that. But you are home. I've taken you home. I've taken you into
And it really speaks to how she inspires
which
people.
is a perfect segue, and inspires somebody who inspired her. To my last point, which is a generalization, is she inspires the older JLA members who inspired everybody else. The fact that Alan Scott and Jay Garrick, and she even back-talked Carter Hall. And he, when Hawkman, chairman of the JSA, he it's not always a democracy when he's chairman. He's kind of, He's kind of authoritarian there. She even snapped back on him, and he respects that. But for these old heads to respect her and understand it, and there was one quote somewhere where Alan Scott was saying what he appreciated about all the members, and she was waiting for see what he said about her, but he just looked at her and he smiled. Says it all. He just smiled. She gave him joy in his heart, and that's what when I read this character, she gives me great joy in my heart. And that, what more can you say about a character?
You can feel the youth and enthusiasm just in every
and
way
I
that
gotta
Johns
believe
writes
his
her.
sister was that way. I gotta totally believe that she was a total light of joy, So I just love this character, and she inspires me.
What do you got, Jamie? What do you got for your top 3 moments?
Well, you took my JSA split into 2 teams Power Girl speech. Uncle Gary took the Lost Child issue, but I got when she took command of the JSA. This is from JSA issue 50. By this point, Courtney had grown into like her actual true leader self. When a JSA is faced with more overwhelming odds, I'm trying not to give too much away in case people actually want to read it. Stargirl stepped up and rallied the team, giving this amazing speech that kept them from actually falling apart and coming together more than they ever had. She wasn't just the youngest member of the team anymore at that point. She was calling the shots and, like Uncle Gary said, earned the respect of Alan Scott and Jay Garrett. This moment to me really cemented like going from that rookie to the full-fledged JSA, like cornerstone of the team.
That was a bonus one I'll throw out too, and I forget what issue it's from. It's when her and Jakeem had to fight Solomon Grundy.
All-Star number 4.
No, it wasn't All-Star. It wasn't All-Star 4. It was the JSA or just it was JSA because it was early on when Jakeem still had the dreadlocks and they didn't get along with each other, and she he ended up ultimately helping her beat him, but she was just beating the tar out of Solomon Grundy too, which is important because Solomon Grundy was the one that killed the original Star-Spangled Kid. And
used Mr. Bones to kill him.
And then Solomon Grundy kind of got a crush on her after that.
Got his ass kicked so much he loved her.
So we went over what we like. We went over some great moments, but every character does have stuff that we don't like. So why don't you lead us off on this one, Jamie? Any criticisms you have about the character?
I really don't like when certain writers try to make her more of a sidekick than an actual player on the team. When they kind of like water her down to the point where it's, oh yeah, she can just be there. No, she's never been a Titan, I don't believe. Never been one of those, hey, let me take you with me on, this mission. It's always been, she's the forefront, and that's where she belongs, rather than in the background.
Yeah.
And you can't see her in the panel.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? Anything you got?
I mean, I have to go with that. I mean, I think the only decent, honestly, in my opinion, the only one who really gets her right is Johns. When he writes her, you just really feel, I think, what he initially wanted you to feel, and that was the hope that she brings or brought him probably. And he's right. When she's just a one among many, why have her? She needs to be at the forefront of a book.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Not just, don't just have, and I get it in Justice Society. That's such a big team. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle. If you have to have the right writer that can handle a big cast and give everyone their moment. But sometimes when she does, and especially, since the end of her miniseries, The Lost Children, she has not been a super prominent character. She was in the Justice Society book before the current one, but when she kind of gets pushed to the background, when she's just one of those characters that's in like fighting the villain that's kind of off to the side and maybe has a line of dialogue. I would like to see her, them let her step up and actually be a team leader. Like Jamie said, she hasn't been a Titan. She was recruited by Young Justice, but she didn't join them because she was already in the JSA.
Yeah.
I'd like to see her actually.
I feel like that's a pivotal goal whenever you're the younger version of getting the torch passed down to you.
She wasn't.
You go through those.
She wasn't an incarnation of the League at one point.
Yeah. The League that was the Titans from the future, like Connor Kent and and Casey and Bart, that were like the older, kind of darker versions. She was in that, but I would like to see her step up and be a leader of like a if they did another JSA All Stars and she got to be the leader of a group.
I kind of felt that's where they were headed when they brought the juniors back. I thought that they were going to do like a spinoff or something like that, where they could do like another Young All Stars,
another Infinity, Young All Stars, Infinity Inc., some All Star Squadron, something like that. She would be perfect. For. What do you say, Gary? Is there anything you don't like about her?
Not really. I love everything about the character. So I mean, I guess the quibble is okay if there's a writer that just puts her in the background and doesn't have her in the forefront. But I've got nothing negative to say about this character. I think she is just an absolute joy.
What other character too could you, whose costume would be a pair of basically a pair of bike shorts and a halter top, and be like, yeah, that costume works. Let's just keep it.
Well, she was a gymnast, I think a kickboxer too. So I mean, she's athlete. So that's an athletic outfit.
Yeah.
So
you needed to breathe.
Yeah. I think J-Dub would agree with me. We were kind of nitpicking to find something wrong.
There's some characters when you look at.
Well, I tell you what's wrong. On this figure right here, they made the figure with braces. She needs her teeth correct.
Well, like I was saying earlier, it's more of like you never put her as. There's always been like a trend of like these sidekick characters that go to the Teen Titans, that go to like a Young Justice, that go to these teams to basically move their way up the rankings. Yeah. Dick Grayson didn't start off as Nightwing or running the JLA at some point without being a Titan. He made his way up. Same thing with what Damian's doing. Same thing with what Kid Flash is doing. They worked the system. They went up. She never had that. She was thrown into it. They knew she was going to be this.
She was Bryce Harper. She made the big leagues like that.
Yes.
Yeah, she skipped the minors. She went right to the big leagues after being drafted.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get to, and I couldn't. Words did not want to work.
And not just the big leagues. She went to the granddaddy of all teams. She went to the granddaddy, the legacy team.
Yeah.
Yep.
When she was born into it, man.
Absolutely.
She's the legacy.
So and now I don't know about Jamie, I don't know about you and Dan, but Chris and I were also big fans of the Stargirl TV show. We thought the actress that played her was
Luke Wilson in that was great.
Sure he was. And the young lady that played Courtney was fantastic.
Britt, I forget her last name, but she was spot on casting.
Yeah. Oh, she was so
fantastic,
good.
like right out of the comic.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really well done. And I love that they used some of the lesser used legacy characters. What's her name?
They used
Rhonda Montez,
Beth McNider, or Beth Chappell, and they used Rick. They used Beth Rick Chappell as Our Man.
Yeah.
They even had Grundy.
Yeah.
They had Grundy and some of the other JSA members in there. Yeah. So, I did too.
I liked it.
You even saw. Yeah,
I have the first few seasons.
I thought it was a really good show with a lot of heart. So I was I really.
Me too. And it had less of the Dawson's Creek stuff than most of the other
arc with Eclipso in it, I thought was really creepy, and that was great. And the guy that played the Shade was fantastic.
Oh, that episode when the waitress was trying to get the tea just
right. Yes.
But you talk about Dawson's Creek, it did have the Dawson's father, and that was great seeing John Wesley Shipp as
Jay
Garrick.
Yeah. Well, we did see it. I showed Uncle Gary a Dawson's Creek thing not that long ago.
I don't remember. What was that?
With our very own Sonny Kruger.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was funny.
All right. Well, with every character, all the stuff we like about them, the thing that gets us to pick them up is you see the great covers on the books and you say, man, I got to pick that up off the shelf. So let's jump into our top covers. We're going to start with our guest, Chris, if you want to talk a little bit about the ones that you picked.
Mm.
Yeah, I love the Stargirl Lost Children issue 4 cover. I mean, it's just, I know it's just her eyes, but it's just a classic. You got that cool Flash cover that she's looking at, and those eyes definitely scream Courtney.
That Flash
so
cover,
Flash
Flash Comics 10. Chris, you've held that original in your hands, baby. I own that book. Yeah, it just doesn't have the boom in it because they added her, but that is a classic Flash cover.
That's awesome. Oh yeah.
I own that book, baby.
Yes.
That was my very first Golden Age book. I've had it probably 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very much.
That's so cool. This JSA 31, I mean, look at her.
Yes, she is.
She's leading the group.
Yeah.
She's leading the elders. That's awesome. That's an incredible cover.
I love it.
And then you've got her at the forefront on this Justice Society of America 26. And that's just so well done.
Yep, Ross on that
Ross
one.
art.
The one on the left is Knock. Is that Eaglesham or Rags on the one in the middle?
I think it's I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
it looks like looking at the way Hawkman's drawn, it looks like Rags Morales.
Yeah, I think it's Rags. I do too. But yeah, those are great covers.
Yeah.
Look at those.
All right, Jamie, you're up next. Why don't you tell us about your picks?
Yeah. So I went with from the left JSA All-Star number 14. And obviously her at the forefront just busting through with the rest of the team. Like we said earlier, when they split the team up into 2, this is her side of the team. Obviously, got to go with some New 52 on here. But Justice League United, her being the main forefront of the cover without the crop top.
She's older now. She's more modern. Yeah.
Yeah, but
the New 52 kind of changed her origin a bit.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
One of them you might see in my recommended reading. But the last one I got is the B variant. It was a connecting variant for all of the JSA for this series, but Justice Society of America number 7. I just think it's just
beautiful.
It's amazing. Like there's no better way to portray her than have her own full cover.
It is.
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some
really
great
cool.
picks there. I think that's Mike. Is that Mike McCone on the end?
I think that's McCone on the right.
Yeah.
Or it kind of looks like Dotson a little bit too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that could be Dotson.
You're talking about 7?
Yes, I think that's. Yeah,
I'll let you know here in a second.
Yeah, that may be Dotson.
All right, Gary, how about you tell us about your picks?
All right, so we'll go the one on the left. That's Stargirl. That's Stargirl, the Lost Children, cover B, number 4, and it's by Maria Laura Sanapo. And I just think I love that. She's riding the staff, and again, she's a gymnast, so she can walk that high beam, right? So she can ride the staff like that, keep her balance. I love that. I love the Stargirl written out, in the stars that she's emitting, and that's just such a joy. The center one, JSA 81, Alex Ross, baby. Get her and Stripe in there. She's glowing. The rod is glowing. Stripe's behind her, supporting her. I just love that cover. And then the one on the right, I really like so much because there we go with the legacy again. Her and Starman, Ted Knight behind her. And I love the similar poses. And that's by the late, great John Cassidy. So Cassidy was so good. What a loss. And he was just 50s. He was not that old.
No.
So, but what a fantastic artist he was. So, but I love all 3 of those covers, and I think they just all do a great job of capturing the essence of who she is.
Yeah.
And all those JSA All-Star covers were like that, where it would have each issue focus on a different character, would have that character in the front, and then like, the legacy kind of version of them in the background.
And they had 2 stories in each one, with the newer one and the older one.
Yes, and both of them were good in that. The Starman one was good in that as well.
That was a 10 issue.
8 or 10. It was 8 or 10.
I
And
think it was
Cassidy did the covers. It was wonderful. That's JSA All Stars.
No, it was 8. Yeah, it says
It was
in the
8?
bottom. This was 4 of 8.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
have
I
glasses
those.
on. I
Those
can't
are
tell.
awesome.
So
All right, so I'll round it out with my
real
pick.
quick, Dan. That
Yeah.
one variant they were asking about is
wow.
Yannick Paquette.
Oh, that's Paquette.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, I see it now. Yep,
Yeah.
that's Paquette.
All right, so my picks, all the way on the right, the same one
Wow.
Gary had. I love how it has her surfing on the cosmic rod, and with how the logo fits into it, and has all the stars on there, and the look on her face of just happiness, just great.
Yeah.
The one all the way on the left, the Spring Break Special #1 variant. Again, I like that she's front and center. She's flying forward, got the cosmic rod. You see Stripe in the background there, but you see her smiling and happy and ready for adventure.
Yeah,
That
is
a fantastic cover. Look at that the sprawl of the Midwest behind her. That's amazing.
And then the middle one, the last issue of her miniseries, Stargirl, The Lost Children, issue 6. I like that, how Chris had her, the JSA cover where she was up front. That's why I like this one. She's up front. She's leading the charge, and then she has all of this army of forgotten sidekicks behind her that she has rescued.
Misfit toys.
Is getting ready to bring back to the world. And it's just, such a great cover. And like you said, it would be natural for them to give her a book where she's the leader. And obviously not all of these characters, because there's way too many of them, but pick like 6 or 7 of them and let her be the team leader with 6 or 7 of them would be a really cool book.
She'd do them all.
Yep.
Look at the Legion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's obviously should be a leader in the past, but it doesn't always work out that way. One of my gripes with Marvel is, oh my God, they were grooming Cannonball to be the next great leader of the X-Men. And they just dropped that. I mean, this guy learned from Xavier, learned from Magneto, learned from Cable, and then ran X-Force for a good bit too. So this guy was the next one in succession. They just kind of dropped him off the earth. And then he was an Avenger for a while with Cap. So this guy's got all the chops necessary to be a leader, just like she does. So there's no reason for her not to be the next gen leader.
So we keep talking about what we would like to see them do, what stories we'd like to see, but there are the stories they have done that we do love. So we'll jump into those. I'll lead off. My picks are Stars and Stripe. It ran for
0 issue and 14 other issues.
Yeah. So 15 issues, issue 0, then 1 through.
Dan, do you have all those?
Yes.
Yes. See, I need 13 and 14. So if you ever run into those, I need 13 and 14.
Gotcha. Well, this one, it's the introduction to her character. You see what she was when she was introduced, and you got to see her start to grow through that. The JSA All Stars, it's issue 4. It's the one we talked about where her and Pat go to fight the Royal Flush Gang, and she finds her dad's a member of it, and then it's her, coming to terms with him and having to step up and stop him, even though he's a criminal, and then her. Where she tells Pat, who she's always kind of, at this point, she's not antagonistic towards him like she has been, but, where she finally says to him, like, I have a dad and it's you. And that's a really touching moment. And this is the issue where she goes from being the Star-Spangled Kid to becoming Stargirl.
Yep.
Where she officially changes her name. And then Stargirl, The Lost Children. We've all talked about it. She takes front and center stage where she rescues all of these lost sidekicks, and refuses, even after she, saves the day, refuses to leave them behind. No man left behind, and brings, and they can't be taken back to their original places in time because
Right.
it'll mess up the timeline. So it brings them all into modern day. But it's it's a fantastic read, great writing, great art. Something I highly recommend you checking out.
And Red Arrow also was
and Red Arrow was in it too.
Who helped her? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Gary, why don't you hit us with your readings?
All right. So the JSA All Stars #4, which you just talked about, that's that great issue where it showed her and Starman on the cover. Half the book is her, half the book is a Starman story, but it is perfect. It is wonderful. And she goes after that Royal Flush Gang and gets that rotten dad of hers. It's a lousy 2. Number 2. He's number 2. He's some shit. So that's what he was. Stargirl, The Lost Children that Dan talked about. And I'm just going to briefly go over Black Vengeance because I really want Chris to talk about it when we get to his, because I know it's on his reading. And that's because I had forgotten about this arc. I've got so many stories in my head, and he had to remind me how great it was. And man, I look back at that, and what a fantastic arc. And she is a centerpiece in that. And we'll let like I said, I'll let Chris go in depth of all the great things about it. But wow, what a fantastic arc. And if you don't get the issues 66 through 75, which are very affordable, get that trade, Black Vengeance.
Yes. All right. Well, speaking of Chris, why don't you tell us about your picks?
Well, I picked Sins of Youth because I think it was the first place you really saw her take charge, and she kind of had to. Because the Justice Society was de-aged by
Gary's favorite Golden Age sidekick,
Clarion,
the Witch Boy. What's his name?
Clarion.
Lee Dickles.
Yeah, Clarion de-aged them,
and
familiar. and she was up-aged, so she became a Star Woman, and she kind of had to lead the team. She kind of had to take charge. It's an awesome, fun story. Not just the book that she's in, but the entire run of it is fun. So if you ever get a chance, pick it up.
It was funny seeing Connor Superboy mad because everyone he got aged to adults and he got stuck as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
featured,
like I said, it featured Gary's favorite Golden Age sidekick, Dolby Dickles.
Doiby Dickles. But
Doiby.
Yeah,
Doiby was in it.
Percival pop in a pot and just cook them.
And then, of course, the Golden Age one shot, and which leads in the Stargirl and the Lost Children, which I think we all.
And that book is a great all ages book too.
Yeah.
That. Yep.
And I forgot to mention it when you get the trade of it. That's why I just put this in this other book. It was the Stargirl summer special that led into the Lost Children, and when you get the trade, it's the summer special and the 6-issue Children mini.
Get them all. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I have the summer special as well, which is a great read. And then like Gary was just talking about JSA 68 to 75. It's peak John's. He's so good at looking back at the past and milking those characters to tell new stories. He reached back into the time when the JSA had to appear before the House of Un-American Activities, and they were asked to take their masks off, and instead of doing so, they all just left, and they chose to just retire. And that's the crux of this first story in the 2 arcs that are in the trade paperback. And Per Degaton just wants to goes back to 1951 and is plotting to have an event happen that will make them look horrible and not come back out of retirement, thus destroying the JSA and any future chance of there being superheroes. He knows it's going to make masks illegal. I'm not going to tell you the plot, the whole plot, but it's an excellent story. And as I was talking about before, she really steps up in this. Her whole family is brutally shot down in front of her at dinner, at breakfast, and it was just a horrible sight. But she carried on. She soldiered on, and
Chris, just I want you to mention two things you reminded me of, and then I went back and saw it. Was the tie-in, the Sandman tie-in to the JLA 113 that I recommended a few weeks ago when we did the Sandman episode. Talk about that for a second. And then also what happened to Mr. Terrific in that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's so good at milking these old used pieces of story. When all of the members all these legacy members that were thrown back into 1951, they were to try to get their try to get the group back together and tell them what was going on with Perdegaton. So each one of them had, like, Stargirl had to talk to Starman. Mr. Terrific had to talk to Mr.
Terry
Terrific.
Sloan,
So Sand went back to talk to Sandman, and he follows him one night when he's leaving his house, and he knows where he's going, and he's going to the warehouse where he keeps Sand, who is a monster at that point. He's the
from JLA 113 that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yep, from JLA 113, and it's a beautiful callback to an almost forgotten moment, and I really liked it. And then Mr. Terrific had to deal with. Now, he had already gone back to the past and met Starman once before in this JSA run, but this time when he goes back, he has to deal with the blatant racism that existed then. For instance, he tried to follow
Terry Sloan.
He tried to follow Terry Sloan onto it. Sorry, I lost track of my track of. It happens. He tried to follow Terry Sloan onto a train, and the porter there stopped him and said, "Where do you think you're going, boy?" And he's like, "Well, I've got a ticket." He goes, "Yeah, that's nice, but your car is back there, and you better run because we're taking off." So he had to deal with that.
Yeah, it said
stuff.
whites only. Had the sign that said whites only.
Yeah, the sign said whites only. But the wonderful thing was when he ran into a bunch of KKK guys out in the woods and just let them have it. They're like, who the hell are you? And he said, "I'm Mr. Terrific."
I just wanted him to mention that because these are layers in that Black Vengeance trade where this stuff is so wonderful. It's a Jeff Johns at his height. And to have a callback to that JLA 113, which was the only JSA JLA crossover that was a one-issue event. And to have that, Johns having read that and remembered that and using that was just wonderful.
Yep. And then that entire 2 arcs, they were dealing with Al Rothstein's betrayal, and he had come back, to help, and he went back in time to help the Atom, and he wants to stay on the team, but again, he ends up running off with Black Adam to Kahndaq again, and just messing his life up.
A lot of pathos.
Yeah.
But the end is phenomenal.
We highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. The whole series is fantastic.
Is it sad to say that
good.
I just put this on my recommended reading because I've never read it?
It's that whole JSA series is some of the best.
I want to collect it because I'm a huge Johns fan.
It's 1 to 81, baby. It's 81 issues. Yep.
It's
All right,
Jamie-
Jamie, well, let's see that your recommended reading.
Yeah, because mine's totally different than everybody else's. So I apologize.
No apologies.
But yeah, first off, we've already talked about JSA All Stars Volume 2. This book was the one that got me into Stargirl and better understand her, where, like we said, it split the team into two. We had that great Power Girl conversation with her, and she took up her own team mantle herself. So going into, I know I said earlier, kind of controversial when it comes to New 52. We all have our different opinions on it, some better than others. But Justice League of America from the New 52, this to me put her at the forefront of a team where it wasn't just a JSA adjacent book. She was, rubbing shoulders with Green Arrow and Martian Manhunter as that kind of trinity. So I thought it was cool, and it gave a different perspective of her to me than it would from a JSA book or like a solo series from her. But the one I want to talk about, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, the Justice Society of America. This was that 12-issue run that previously just ended, leading into the new one. But issue 12, issue 12.
One.
That was the her giving the speech. Was it at the school at the time? At the end, where she gives that great monologue about what being a hero truly is, and what going through life equivalent to being the alter ego of what she is. Just for that issue alone, I would definitely pick up the entire run. It's a good run regardless. But this one, read issue 12 and tell me you can't be a fan afterwards. So those are my picks.
Very nice.
Yeah, good picks. I'm not surprised you picked New 52.
Yeah.
I have to agree, Jamie. That's a really good run. It's John's, so it's fantastic. I felt that the end was a bit rushed, and I don't think that
it
was
wasn't.
his fault. I think that was
he did an interview talking about it, and he basically said, like, we had so many delays going on, we had all these things, so he's like, that book was just my memoir to my sister at that one. So that's why I was like, that one to me was the most enticing, because we talked about the entire show so far about how, that's what we like most about the inception of the character, and that one felt more true to me than anything else.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I just felt that that John's kind of got screwed out of telling the whole story.
And I think John's probably had this Ghost Machine stuff in the works, and he knew that was coming, and he had to move on. I believe he had to move on, and the delays messed up his schedule.
Mm-hmm. Because Ghost Machine was like a year even prior to this.
Yeah, Ghost Machine's still so damn good. Hyde Street is good.
Ghost Machine was just pushing. I listened to a lot of interviews, especially our own. So go check all of them out. They're on Spotify now. But he was talking about Ghost Machine when he was at, oh my God, it wasn't San Diego. It was Heroes. He was talking to Heroes, and they had a booth for Ghost Machine, and he was sitting there, and he goes, no one knew I was there. They'd walk past me. He's like, no one cared. They didn't publicize us. They didn't do anything. He's like, we were selling the hats that you find in the back with the merch. He goes, we were trying to push it so hard. And he goes, no one came up to us. He goes, no one realized that me and Fabok were sitting next to each other, and that, Ivan Reyes was on the other side of the booth. Finally, another publication, I'm not going to say who because he tells you, but they came up to him and they're like, what are you doing? Don't you have your own booth? He goes, this is my booth with everybody here. And they're like, oh my God, why aren't you guys like more publicized? And he goes, because we just started it and they didn't give us any credibility.
I would have been there.
That's
me too.
Up.
Yeah,
I got to meet
my entire run of Justice Society.
Because all he said was there was a banner that just said Ghost Machine. There was no context behind it. We literally were there, brought in last minute by him, and that was it.
I'll be darned.
Well, one thing.
I'll be darned. Yeah, that Hyde Street is excellent. That Sisterhood
I
book
love
is good.
Everything Ghost Machine is good.
And guess what comes out this week that we can't wait to talk about on
Already
Saturday?
got it. I already picked it up.
I didn't. I got to get it Saturday. I'm so happy. Rook, Exodus.
What's
my
that?
favorite book.
Well, one thing for characters that we love, the reason we love them is because of the writers and artists that work on them and make us love them. So I'll go first on this for best writer and best artist. I think it's probably going to be universal best writer, Jeff Johns. He created the character. He's written the bulk of the stories with the character. He's the one that gets the character. It's him as best writer. For artist, I'm going with Todd Nauck from the summer special and the Lost.
I seen that one a mile away.
No, I knew he was too. Yeah.
I mean, it's not just because I'm a huge Todd Nauck fan.
No. But he did amazing.
His style perfectly fits Stargirl. You know, the youthful energy of it, the way he draws it. Like, I wasn't a huge Lee Moder fan of, when he did the Stars and Stripes book. The JSA stuff with the different artists there was good, but Todd Nauck, I think, is the perfect artist to draw her at this stage of where the character is. As I don't know what age she is now, something like mid-teenager, probably around 16 or so.
I would guess.
I think he is the perfect one for that. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, and just to jump onto what you're saying, his art has a whimsical feel to it, a whimsical, innocent feel to it, especially for those young members of the forgotten kids. The way that he drew them was fantastic.
Designed a lot of them, I think.
But
I think he designed a lot of them, or helped design them.
He did that with the New Mutants too. When he was doing them. I thought he did for a while.
He did New Mutants?
Maybe it wasn't. I thought Nauck did some New Mutant stuff. Maybe not.
He did that Magneto miniseries that had the New Mutants in it from when Magneto was in charge of them.
Right. Yeah, and I thought he did a great job on that.
So is that your pick too, or you have an artist?
No, my pick was Don Kramer, who did the JSA, and it was because he did the JSA.
He was great on it.
He did such a good job, and his backgrounds are fantastic. He's a fantastic artist. I like his work.
Yeah,
and of course Johns. I don't think there's anyone else.
What about you, Jamie?
Really.
I went with Johns as well. I mean, you can't at that point. But artist-wise, I went with Freddie Williams the second. So,
okay,
really like this.
Was
really
that New 52?
No, that was JSA All-Star Volume 2.
Oh, that's right. All right, Gary. So, what are your picks?
All right. Well, usually when somebody picks their writer or artist, I say, well, there's no wrong answer. It's what you like. On this one, if it's anybody but Jeff Johns, it's a wrong answer. Mm-hmm. So, this one is just, there's no way to say any other writer. And it wouldn't be right even if another writer was great, because of Jeff Johns' DNA is in this character, and it would be a disservice to mention somebody else. Absolutely. So, I mean, his literal DNA is in this character that he created because of his sister. For artist, much love to Todd Nauck, but God, I'm a Rags Morales man. I really, really loved how he drew every character in the J.
Yeah, Rags is phenomenal.
I love his run on Hawkman. Love his run on Geomancer.
Oh, Identity Crisis.
Yeah,
Rags. Maybe it's not so much how Rags does Stargirl. It's maybe how he does everybody. That's got me influenced. But his Stargirl was magnificent as well. So I go with Rags, but a lot of love to Todd Nauck. And I am. You're exactly right. The whimsical, the enthusiasm, the youthfulness, the little cartoony flair to the character fits her wonderfully.
It was perfect.
Oh, I mean, those are all fantastic picks. Can't argue with any of them. So, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. Special thanks to Chris for joining us and for behaving. And for
we didn't pull off the air. Oh my God, it's a minor miracle.
I had to talk to YouTube in the middle of this and be like, please just give us 30 more minutes.
It's my first time. Give me time.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to get us in trouble.
No.
So thank you all again for taking the time to join us tonight. Everyone in the chat, it was fantastic. Great character. Like Jamie said, next week it's going to be a best of for the DC Trinity. And what comes after that? I guess you got to tune in and find out. But join us this Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I believe is 10 p.m. Chicago time.
Yep.
For Comics Unleashed. And until then, catch you by the spinner rack.
See you in the next one.